Incisor.
Trimming is a technique used to reduce both the download size of a graphic and the number of pixels rendered for the graphic. With trimming, we eliminate unnecessary portions of an image or geometry that won't be visible in the final render. By removing these individual areas, we eliminate calculations for pixels that won't ultimately be displayed, saving valuable resources. In Incisor, there are 3 distinct trimming modes: none, rectangular, and hugged. To showcase these, I'll be using a red circle with a white border. I've already opened the asset browser and the asset settings panel, where I've selected the red circle asset. Now, let's locate the trim mode property in the asset settings panel. By default, this is set to hugged. I'm going to choose the none option to disable trimming entirely. After a save and refresh of the live view, you can see that the original asset is unchanged. Now I'll switch the trim mode to rectangular. The original rectangle is kept intact, but many of the transparent pixels have been trimmed away. Lastly, I'll switch the trim mode back to the default hugged. You'll notice that with hugged, the blue border wraps closely around the visible parts of the circle, trimming away most of the extra transparent pixels from the original rectangular image. We can also fine-tune how tightly the border hugs the image using the trim buffer property. If I increase this value to 50, save and refresh live view, you'll see a larger buffer zone between the image and the border. Notice how in this example, the increased buffer has not gone beyond the bounds of the original image, so it has created a sharp line at the image edge. If this is undesired, we can enable the Allow Additive Trim Buffer setting. This allows the trim buffer calculations to add extra pixels to the image so that enough buffer pixels will exist. I can also make this a negative value, allowing us to cut into the image if necessary.